So here's a fun idea I thought it'd be kind of fun to do. I said fun too many times, but you can never have too much fun. I'm gonna shut up. So, as we all know, there is a certain thing that goes on during the Halloween season that may or may not happen depending on certain events. But, as we all know, there is a certain event that goes on during the Halloween season called Halloween Horror Nights. And as we all know, those houses and, scare zones have been very popular with certain IPs and whatnot showing up. So I thought for this video, I thought it'd be kind of fun to talk about some of my fun ideas for scare zones / horror, haunted houses, for Halloween Horror Nights. So let's get started. Now I fully acknowledge that many of these may never happen for different reasons, but I think this is just like a fun what if. So let's actually start off with the one I think is most likely to happen. And it's because of one movie, and that is Candyman. I'm surprised Candyman never really got a scare zone or a haunted house anywhere. I'm generally shocked that, the Candyman franchise has never been looked at for it. Now, I do believe that we will probably get a haunted house based off that character in this year. Reason being, the new movie coming out, so I think that's a strong possibility, but I would have really liked to seen it based off of the classic film. I'd really love to have seen, because, a haunted house like that would be really cool, like going through the halls of Cabrini Green, and having the Candyman just shoot out with the hook raised at you through a window, or a room full of, you hear buzzing of bees and stuff like that. That'd be really cool. I think it'd be a really neat experience. But again, this is the one that's probably, of all these I'm going to mention, it's probably the one that's most likely, but it'd probably be the new movie. Not to say that's bad, I'm just saying, I'm very excited and hopeful that we get a Candyman maze, or at least a scare zone. So let's talk about the next one. Another one I'm generally shocked that we never got, and that is Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice is a Universal IP, and he's always been a popular character and was even a host at the early days of Halloween Horror Nights when it was called Fright Nights. I think, he was the original host of it. And Beetlejuice would be really fun, like a fun haunted house. Like you could go through the house the movie is in and go into the netherworld, have like a giant sandworm puppet shoot out at you. They've done giant puppets before, like they did the Xenomorph Queen, and they've done the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, and they did Clownzilla in the Killer Clowns from Outer Space movie. So yeah, and have not even that, like you have the Adam and Barbara come out in their monster forms and jump out and scare you. That'd be really cool. Have Lydia even come out. I think it would be a little more kitschy and fun, like the how they made the Ghostbusters haunted house, like something like that, where it's a lot more fun. Like it's almost like you could almost take your kids to it. You know what I mean? Like that's how I imagine the Beetlejuice one. So moving right along to our next one, and that is Michael Jackson's Thriller. Now, Michael Jackson's Thriller could easily work as either a scare zone or a haunted house. Reason why I say I think it'd work as a haunted house as much as it would a scare zone, and again, I'm shocked this one didn't make it, because this would have been perfect for the 80s theme they did last year. But I would say that how you could do this as a haunted house is you start off in the movie that they were watching and have like certain areas where you have like the werecat that Michael turns into shoot out and do the roar. You can go further into the movie theater and have "See You Next Wednesday" on the walls and stuff like that. You can hear Vincent Price's rap in the hallways. Have zombies pop out at you. It's perfect. Like when you really think about it, like the layout really screams haunted house. Like the layout of how that music video plays could easily be a layout for a haunted house. But again, I think a scare zone would be really cool too. I'm just saying, like, I think it could easily lend itself to being a haunted house. So that was just my thought of Michael Jackson's Thriller would be a really neat one, and who doesn't love that song, man? Anyway, so let's talk about the other ones, and these are a little more less likely. And I'm going to talk about two of them that are video game centric, that are probably the least likely, but I'll get to those at the end. So let's start off with the Crazies. The Crazies, I think, would be really cool. I'm talking about you could either do the original George Romero movie, or you could do the remake, which is equally really good. I think the Crazies would be, it really lends itself to being a haunted house, of just having all these people just shoot out at you. Like, you could even have, like, a round a corner into a barn where the guy's, got his thresher going and killing people with. You could have people in hazmat suits reach out and try to grab guests as they're walking through. It just speaks for itself. I think it's a really good one. Next up is the Howling. The Howling would be a really neat one. And you could honestly reuse the werewolf models from American Werewolf in London, which they've done, like, I think more fucking times than I could count. I know they used it in Universal Studios when they did the Universal Monster one. I know they did it again they've done it like twice, like 2 or 3 times. They've reused the American Werewolf in London werewolf models from that haunted house and refurbished and reused them several times. I damn well know they have. But I think this would be a really neat one. Like, you could go through the houses, you could go through I don't know, like, this is a little hard, but then again, this is supposed to be an adult, like an older themed audience. So, yeah, you could probably go through the porn shop and have the scene where the woman, the reporter sees him transform for the first time, and it's in that room. You could even have, like, the smiley face sticker, Eddie's smiley face sticker on the walls. Yeah, just as you go, it's like a little Easter egg. There you go. Yeah, definitely. And have just giant guys in werewolf suits run at people. That's perfect. I don't think we had a werewolf one since American... Well, we technically have had the Universal Monster ones in Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman, but I don't think we've had a werewolf-centric one in a while. Anyway, so the next one, I actually got a list. That's why I'm looking off. Like, I have a little list here, because I knew I'd forget some. So the next one is Hatchet. Very... it's a recent slasher movie with Victor Crowley. I don't think it'd be hard to get the IP, honestly. I think the director would be very cool with it. I think Hatchet would be a neat one, just going through the bayou, or go through. You start off in the shop and have Reverend Zombie, either pop out at you or try to warn you to stay out of the swamp, and have, like, Victor come at you in every way. Like, the practical effects of it, like seeing the aftermath of Victor killing all of his victims, would just be equally awesome. So that's all the movie ones. I will say, for another one I think would be really cool, is Jeepers Creepers. I'm surprised. That's another one I'm surprised they didn't do. But then again, I can see why they kind of shied away from that one, because the director is a pedophile. So fuck that guy. So I can see why they didn't want to do that. But at the same time, like, I think Universal would kill it on a Jeepers Creepers haunted maze. Excuse. Why do I keep trying to say haunted mansion? Fuck. So the last two are video games, and they have done video games before, like Silent Hill and Resident Evil. But these are a little different ones. And those are, the first one I'm going to talk about is Doom Eternal. The Doom franchise would be perfect. Like, could you imagine a haunted house that looks like you're going into hell, and you have little projections of the AI who keeps telling you the Slayer is a liar, you're all going to die, and all of that. Like, that'd be really cool. And just blaring the music, Mick Gordon's music throughout the maze, while having demons just shoot out of holes and pop out at you. Like, even the Doomslayer, you could lend himself to be scary. Like, you could have a scene like the Doomslayer, just you round a corner, boom, there's the Doomslayer with the chainsaw. Yeah. You could even have, like, maybe like a version of the Icon of Sins as like your, like, because again, they've done giant figures and animatronics and puppets before, so maybe you could do as like a final one, the Icon of Sins, like trying to reach down and grab you, or something like that. I don't know. And but again, that's very least likely, but you never know. And least likely is Bendy and the Ink Machine. Bendy and the Ink Machine is really just screams haunted house. Bendy and the Ink Machine would just be a really fun one. Like, I could see Universal going all out on this one. Like, you could have Alice, Sammy Lawrence, Bendy himself, Boris, all of that, like you're walking through Joey Drew Studios, and around every corner you're either attacked by a lurker or Alice comes at you, stuff like that. It just really, like, that would be really perfect. But again, I don't see that happening. I don't know if they'd be the IPs or just because, like, Bendy isn't as popular. Now, I'm also surprised they haven't done Five Nights at Freddy's, but then again, there have been other places that have done Five Nights at Freddy's haunted houses, so, you know, who knows. But anyway, I thought that'd just be a fun one, and so you guys tell me in the comments below, what do you guys think of all these haunted houses and scare zone ideas? Do you guys like them, hate them, and what are yours? Just comment below, let me know, and once again, hope you all enjoyed this, and I'll see you guys later.